Guys, it's Wednesday and today we are on our way to CameraNu. And the reason is very simple. Tomorrow I'm teaching 2 sessions for Sony and Wacom at CameraNu. And because the first one actually starts at 9 o'clock in the morning, we have to set up now. So we have all the gear on the floor. And we're going to go through the gear if everything is what I need. And then we're going to bring it to CameraNu, set everything up, that tomorrow, as soon as we arrive at CameraNu, we can start teaching right away. So let's see what we bring for tomorrow's session. Okay, so we have a banner for our workshops. We have the beauty dish with grid and a deflector. We have our tether tools cable. We have 3 stands, 2 for lights of course, and 1 for our tether tools table. For my laptop we have the Lastolite Urban Backgrounds, and we're gonna bring 2 ELCs from Allingram. Absolutely love the ELCs, great strobes, and they can go really low in power and have high output if you want it. So this is the deflector, and of course we're gonna bring 1 reflector with actually a gel set and grids. And of course the most important thing for every photographer in the world, duct tape. Because if you don't use duct tape, you probably don't have to put anything together. But anyway, duct tape is incredibly important. And of course the color checker and a light meter. So we're gonna put everything in the car and drive to CameraNu. Okay, so Steffi is hard at work at one of our videos. Afra is, I think, creating the new certificates for the workshop at Aviodrome. And Anna-Week is of course also hard at work. So, girls, are you ready to go to CameraNu?
Yes.
Okay, let's go. Guys, just before we leave to CameraNu, Anna-Week actually told me we got a package in. And in the package there's actually this. It's a USB wristband with Learning with Frank. Great for all those guys that always forget their USB sticks. That's me actually. So, let me show you. So, here we got the package, and this is actually how they look. And it's 8 gigs USB, so enough for some quick copying on the road. Now if you want one of those, we're actually gonna give one away. So leave your comments below and tell me you would like one of these USB wristbands, and we're gonna send you one. We're gonna raffle away one. The only limitation is you have to be in Europe because of the shipping costs. So leave a comment below and maybe you win one of these. Okay, we're almost arriving at CameraNu to set up for the workshop tomorrow. Okay, so we're setting up for tomorrow's workshop, and we already have the Wacom here, and this is where my laptop will be, and of course where the people can sit. Okay, so we're done with setting up. We're going to use the beauty dish with grid and 1 open reflector to start out. And these are the Lastolite backgrounds, and of course our banners. So let's go back to Emmeloord, and we're going to do some shopping for some used goods for photo shoots, if they have something interesting of course. Okay guys, we're back home and we didn't buy anything at the second-hand store. Now what am I looking for the studio in a second-hand store? And maybe this can be a good tip if you're looking for something. Now do remember that space is always limited. Even if you have a big studio, there's always room for more, you think, and then 1 year later you're totally stuck with all this kind of junk where, well, you can't move around, and at one point you just have to sell it again. So what are we looking for? We're looking for pieces that are, 1, cheap. Hey, I'm Dutch. And why are they cheap? Well, for the very simple reason, we use them maybe once, maybe twice for a real photo. And then we can use them still as props, but for me the fun is out of it. And then when I buy a 45 euro piece, you know, if I can only use it once or twice, I think that's a shame of the money. So we're looking for cheaper props, and also for props that are easily moved around the studio. Like for example, you can buy a piano And that's of course great. And sometimes you see pianos really cheap, like in the 50, 60 euro range. But they're really beaten up, and that's actually awesome for a photo shoot. However, try to move a piano around your studio. That's terrible. And the same goes with chairs. We saw an amazing chair, really cool, only 30 euros. And I'm going like, that's really interesting. But it was a huge chair and it was really heavy. So if you want to move that around the studio, that's terrible. You don't want to drag that around every day. And because we have most of our props in our studio floor, it's actually important that it has to be movable. So when we go to a second-hand store, 1, cheap, 2, easy to move, and 3, it has to be interesting. So if you have a new studio or you have an older studio and you want some props, think about that little tip, because maybe it can save you a lot of hassle. And to be totally honest, you can buy stuff new, but most of the times we really love that rustic look, so that beaten down look, which is absolutely awesome for photo shoots. And another thing is, one of my students actually asked me like, Frank, why don't you use something like a posing chair? Now, those chairs are of course sold for a lot of money, because you can actually let your model pose on them. And in my opinion, what's the need for it? We shoot fashion, we shoot a lot of stuff that's, well, a little bit more on the edge, what I think in posing wise. So why use a posing stool or a posing chair? Just use an old chair and just let your model play with it. That's the most important thing. Otherwise you get all these static shots, and that's something that I absolutely don't want. I want real dynamic shots. So that's it for today. Tomorrow we have our workshop at CameraNu for Sony and Wacom. So that's going to be absolutely awesome. Nadine's going to be there. We have a lot of ideas, and it's actually going to be a 3-hour session, and then we have some hours off and another 3-hour session. And what are we going to do? Well, we're going to show you in tomorrow's episode, but I can already tell you a little bit. We're going to do a photo shoot, retouching, and I'm going to explain a lot about the Sony system and of course Wacom. But don't worry, it's not going to be a Wacom or Sony session. It's going to be all intermingled with the photo shoot. So it's going to be really interesting, I think, for the guys who are there. So we have 2 full groups, and that's of course great, because if you don't have any audience, well, why go? So the groups are full, so thank you so very much guys for going there. And well, you'll see it tomorrow in Behind the Closed Door. So for now, good evening, good night, good morning, wherever you are, and see you again tomorrow. And by the way, if you want, leave comments here, and of course subscribe to our channel. We really appreciate it. So, see you around guys. Bye bye.